We've reached the end of Season 1 of The Manager's Moment. Let that sink in. I'm still processing it myself. Back in November 2023, I embarked on a journey to create a podcast. I was a complete novice in audio content creation, but was offered a place on a course called Create Your Podcast. And thanks to Patrick Hawhey of Audio Brand and Learning Wave SkillNet, I was challenged to release 2 episodes and a trailer by February 2024. That was 3 months, from concept through skill acquisition to release date. Granted, I love being a novice. I'm a learning nerd and a shiny new thing junkie. Creating a podcast was 100% new to me, and I loved it. Sure, I'd created digital media content before, but this was different. I was on my own. This was completely new territory for me. Audio waves, capturing and editing sound using new software and hardware. Luckily, I'm a quick study and quick to learn new tech, which made the mountain slightly less daunting to climb. However, a podcast is more than just good audio. I had to envision it and then deliver on it. What would it be about? Why was I doing this? Who would listen? Who would be generous enough to be a guest? Who would be courageous enough to be my first few guests? What format would work best? How would I deliver on that format? How would I brand it, and how would I distribute it globally? And how would I organize everything on a shoestring budget? Figuring it all out has been a journey I have loved. I have acquired new skills, I've become efficient through practice, feedback, reflection, and complete immersion. The conversations with my guests were incredible, teaching me something new when I was having the conversation with them, and each time I revisited them in the editing process, and even later while listening to them on the bus or out for a walk to understand the listener experience. I'm therefore thrilled with the feedback from my guests about their experience of the process, that it was a positive one. Special thanks to Manushka, my very first guest and my dear friend. She let me experiment freely, enduring more recordings than I care to mention. Every guest after her benefited from what I learned with her. Over time, I have found my stride, becoming more efficient and proficient at producing an episode. The Manager's Moment isn't over yet. I'm planning Season 2 and even Season 3. I'm also collaborating on a brand new podcast focused on the questions managers and leaders might have as they go about doing their work. This new show has a very different format, and its launch is imminent. Stay tuned and follow me on LinkedIn for more updates. Before wrapping Season 1, though, I want to share a couple of my observations. The first one. With this podcast, I have led with the idea that managers are people too. Everyone has their own story, their own hopes, fears, dreams, and challenges. Seeing the person in every moment is crucial for effective leadership. At least that's what my experience has shown me. Some of the very best managers I've worked with do this instinctively, or they've honed that skill through practice. I believe only when you truly see and consider the person in their context can you show up as the leader they need. The podcast has affirmed that life happens. Even during the production process of each episode, guests have faced layoffs, grief in the family, illnesses, and emergencies. We even had an episode that couldn't be released due to recording quality issues caused by damage to an undersea internet cable in Africa. These experiences underscore that idea that managers are indeed people too, and we are all just trying to live our best lives. My second observation is that every guest at some point recalled someone who took a chance on them, who championed them, or who had a pivotal conversation with them. These relationships and conversations seeded legacies, From Damien's father to Violet mentoring Brenda and launching her career in production management. From Brandy's unexpected opportunity with a VP that opened the doors to an L&D career, to Mike's accidental mentor he acquired later in his career. These stories highlight the power of championing others. Brenda put it really well when she said she considers herself extremely lucky. She observed that there are good people who work hard all their lives, but don't get breaks, while she got breaks when she needed them. This really made me reflect on myself. How can I be the person who champions others so that luck or circumstances of birth play less of a role in their success? I'm still exploring what makes for a great manager. In fact, I was recently a guest on another podcast where I was asked this very question. I declined to answer because that's exactly what I've been exploring with my guests, and we're not done yet. I'm still not prepared to fully answer that question. I'm not sure I ever will be, which leads me to Season 2. You might have noticed many of my Season 1 guests are connected to a small little company called Electric Paper. While all these people have moved on to work in diverse contexts across different cultures, in different countries, there is a similarity in their origin story. Most have their roots in an Irish upbringing. This raised questions for me. In our globalized multicultural work ecosystems, is managing people truly the same everywhere? Are people just people, regardless of where they originate from? Is effective management an homogeneous experience and practice? Many people have grappled with these questions, and many people have answered them and probably answered them very, very well. I wanted to explore them in the way that I do, and that is through conversation with people who are experiencing it and who are learning as they go. That's why Season 2's theme will be about Managers Without Borders. I'll be speaking with leaders who are managing in varied cultural contexts or in contexts that are different from their own origins. We'll likely skirt the edges of bias and stereotypes and generalities as our brains try to simplify the complexity of humanity. But by hearing about the experience of those navigating and helping others to navigate this complexity, we'll hopefully emerge wiser, more connected, with a more expansive understanding of how to see the person no matter the context, no matter the culture, no matter the complexity. Thank you to all my Season 1 guests for your time, your generosity, and for trusting me. Manushka, Danielle, Emmett, Mike, Brenda, Damien, Mick, Mina, Brandy, Tracy, and Colin. Your stories have allowed us all to learn and to grow. Listeners, if you have guest recommendations for Season 2, please reach out. Contact details are in the show notes, or find me on LinkedIn. I am still the only Belinda Brummer on that platform. This is Belinda Brummer, signing off on Season 1 of The Manager's Moment. The Manager's Moment, seeing the person in this and every moment. Thank you for listening.